Hey guys, unfortunately this isn't going to be the usual goofy, happy, funny video. Um, like, I haven't been uploading much lately. I will be now that I'm done with all my finals, finally. And I played at graduation, that was the very last thing of the year. Report cards come on Monday, so that's cool. Hopefully I did pretty awesome on that. I'm hoping, but, anyways, this isn't going to be the usual smiley face type of thing because recently someone that was pretty close to me, and I considered him like a brother, the son of my mom's boyfriend, John Weimer, passed away. He was 10 years old and he stopped breathing in his sleep. And the reason that happened, normally you wouldn't think, oh, little kid's just gonna drop dead. He had Prader-Willi syndrome, Prader-Willi, Prader-Willi, I think. Both pronunciations work. I'm not sure. I'm trying. No, I can't, there's no way I'm gonna be able to spell it out. It's just Pradur, and then Willie, how you'd expect to spell Willie. So just Google that if you want. But basically, it's a sad thing. It's something with the chromosomes, I believe, and it entails perpetual hunger. Even if you just ate, like, they're always hungry when they have that, and that's not like, oh, I'm a little bit hungry. It's like if you or I, or you get what I'm trying to say, didn't eat for a week, kind of hunger. So, and on top of that, they have low metabolism, so they can't eat much. And even when they don't eat much, like 1,000 calories a day, they still end up at, upwards from 300 pounds, and then on top of that, low muscle tone. So it was, you can imagine it was very hard for this child to get around. I mean, here I am feeling like, oh, I can't run that fast because I'm short. Look at me, I'm only like 5'4", I'm 16 years old, blah blah blah. Which is a little bit more than what I used to be, but so I'm glad for that. But anyways, and then here's this kid, and it's a challenge for him to just basically get around. So it just puts you in a different perspective. It's like, who am I to feel sorry for myself when here's this kid, and it wasn't like he was some sad, just depressed child. He was the sunshine of his family's life. I mean, he was just always smiling, never complained about any of it. He may ask once in a while, when's dinner, Daddy? That's to be expected. I'd be pestering him too about dinner if I was hungry all the time like that. But, he was just a very loving kid. He was all about the hugs. You would never get a half hug from him. It was always just one of those big bear hugs. And, this video, I know I'm sounding kind of sad, partially because I am at the moment. He died, pretty much, well, we're a few hours after a week ago. But anyways, just to finish that up, how he was able to die, the low muscle tone in the throat, so, congestion, coughed it up, swallowed it back, couldn't push through because of the low muscle tone, and that was it. So, but the idea here is not to be all boo-hoo. I do, however, want to ask your prayers, maybe, anyone that's religious, for the family, for his father and two brothers, and mother, of course, as well. But those are the people that I know specifically, and you know, they're having a rough time with it because he really was just such a loving kid, and he will be thoroughly missed. You know, it's funny. The priest that did the funeral mass, he did an amazing homily. Um, he actually knew John fairly personally. John would always, you know, everyone else, you know, maybe you go up and you give the priest a little handshake. John gave him a hug. And, you know, you hear a few stories of John. There was this girl that was afraid to do, what was it, reconciliation, confession, whatever you want to call it. And John just led her into the room, and he kind of like pointed at Father Tom. My memory's failing me because it's, you know, 1 something in the morning, but I wanted to do this, and so despite my failing memory, he points at him and he's like, "Don't worry, he's a nice guy," and he offers to stay with the girl through the whole thing, but he can't because it's a sacrament and all that. And but you know, and he got letters from, or you know, the family got letters from at least a few kids who, one of them, this girl Dominique, said that he was her like she light and shining armor. So it was really cute. I think what she meant to say was knight in shining armor. You know, and it just goes to show you that the best person at the end of the day isn't the one that can, yeah, I can run 100 miles without stopping. I mean, you know what, if you can, more power to you. I mean, that's pretty awesome. But I'm just saying, you don't have to be able to run 100 miles in an afternoon to be a success and be, you know, make a difference in someone's life. Another one, you know, a kid who had troubles. Obviously, John with the syndrome. Another thing on top of the other stuff is, you know, he wasn't socially challenged. I'm not sure if that's something with it that's common. He was very outgoing, loving kid, but you know, he did have some mental difficulties. I'm trying to not say it mean because, you know, he was very wise in a way. Like, it's hard to explain. But he did have the trouble with school, so he was, I'm not sure exactly how it's structured with the special ed and whatnot. But there was this kid that had a lot of social problems specifically, and John was the one that was his best friend and got him to actually get out and talk to people. I'm sorry if I'm getting a little sobby here, you know, just nostalgia and all that, you know, kind of sad happy type of thing. But I'm okay because I know in my mind that he's in a better place, that he's in heaven, that he's happy, and he deserves it because he lived such a beautiful life. I mean, think another letter, another kid. It was like the cutest thing. He said that now God is your dad, and one of the angels is your mom. Like, God's some kind of pimp. Like, hey, angel, get over. Yeah, you, one in the little red dress. But oh god. But that was, you know. And then at the wake, I mean, there were so many people, you know, from around the community. I think there was one guy from, like, the grocery store. A guy that worked at a grocery store, knew him no other way. But he came there because John had just had the ability to touch people's lives, and he was, you know, I mean, he had more struggles than any of us that, I mean, you know, if someone's watching and, you know, I mean, with everything in the world, quite possibly someone could be watching with greater struggles, and I'm sorry, not to group everyone and assume that everyone watching this has, well, no, we all have struggles in one way or another. We all have our weak points. I'm just trying not to offend anyone, but you get my point. Despite everything that held him back, he just did so much, and it just makes me want to be so much better of a person. It's like, if he can do all that, barely being able to get around, carrying around an over 300-pound body that's not his fault in any way, on low muscle tone legs, and just being able to get around and do so many amazing things for people. I mean, there's so many stories. But, I'm not remembering all of them at the moment, obviously, because I'm tired, and also I'm not going to have a 5-hour video. But, yeah. As silly as that kid's analogy was with God's your dad when the angels is your mom, I know he's in a better place. I'm just sad for not being able to see him, obviously, and I'm sad for his father and his brothers, especially the oldest. They had a special bond with him. But, I guess I just try to be wise. I try to see that death is an illusion, because I'm a very religious person myself. Not like Catholic in my own way, kind of, I guess. There's some stuff I'm kind of shaky on, such as the flood, and there's one thing from a song about God: slow to anger, rich in kindness. Slow to anger. Everyone says, oh, God is perfect. Well, define perfect. I kind of think that he can get angry and did get angry, and maybe regret it later, but, maybe he's not perfect, but he's just a very nice guy type of thing. And now I'm going to be hit by lightning, but anyways, I know, I know in my heart that he's in a good place. It's just, I really hope that God will be able to help me and his family know that we're going to see him again someday. It's a matter of time. It's not some impenetrable wall that's between him and us, and we'll never see him again, ever, ever, ever. Just in the meantime, it's tough, but I just try to remember the good, and I try to say, you know what, I can't just sit here and sulk. I want to do good things. I want to go on in his name and do what he would want me to do. He would want me to be happy, and he would want me to make other people happy. He would want me to go out there and, maybe not always physically, but, metaphorically speaking, just get out there and hug people, just touch their lives, do good things, and, with his limited capacity, he did so much, so let me just get out there, and I don't even know if I can do as much good as he did, despite his limitations, but I'm going to do everything I can, and, I invite anyone watching to join me just in his name, remember him, and just kind of have that in the back of your mind when you're struggling. Think of his day-to-day struggles. Every single day, he woke up and he was starving. All day he was starving. He struggled to get around. He couldn't understand everything as well as the rest of us, in some ways at least. In others, he was more wise than I can even imagine. But, he still did so many amazing things, and I want to honor his memory and make the world a better place. So, there's my little vlog thingy. I probably rambled a lot. I'm sorry about that. But I also hope that I got a point across, and I hope I didn't depress anyone. The point was not to depress. The point is kind of to say, look at that, think of how much you can do in the world, because no matter what your limitations are, you know, you can push through them. You can. I mean, I read something the other day about a guy climbing up a mountain, Mount Kilimanjaro or something, that had no legs, literally like on his arms, something like that, or on like bionic legs. It was insanity to read about, and it just goes to show you limitation. It's all just something to push through. There's always something you can do, and just get out there and make the world an awesome place. And good night, guys.